to the 7th Medical Group and to Team Dyess. Dave, I chose you to be our next squadron commander for the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron because your experience, your reputation, and proven track record. When I spoke to the previous medical group commander at Patrick Air Force Base, she stated that you are more than ready for squadron command. I have no doubt that you will take the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron to even greater levels of excellence. Lieutenant Colonel D recently served as the Chief of the Medical Staff and as the Public Health Emergency Officer at Patrick Air Force Base. There he oversaw medical policy, quality, and safety for 60 clinical staff and served as the installation Public Health Emergency Officer, where he led Patrick through the first wave of this global pandemic emergency. Dave, you are the perfect choice to lead this squadron, and you have my full faith and confidence as you take command. Thank you again to all of you here and all of those watching online. I wish you all a great Air Force Day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Cook presents Lieutenant Colonel Watkins Nance, the Meritorious Service Medal. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by executive order, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal, 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster, to Lieutenant Colonel Stephanie M. Watkins Nance for meritorious service, 1 July 2017 to 17 July 2020. Lieutenant Colonel Stephanie M. Watkins Nance distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as the Commander, 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. During this period, Lieutenant Colonel Watkins Nance commanded the largest deployment hub within the Air Force Global Strike Command. Her team readied 3,237 airmen across 2 wings on 32,000 requirements and deployed in support of humanitarian and expeditionary taskings across the globe. She was critical in planning the medical support for the Bomber Task Force while also serving as lead flight surgeon for the exercise readiness preparedness stages. As installation environmental occupational health consultant, she enforced industrial standards across 71 shops, resulting in the safety of 2,100 workers. Additionally, her astute attention to detail was crucial in mitigating the wash rack, boron, hexavalent chromium, and B-1 ejection seat investigations. Her steadfast leadership as Chief of Aerospace Medicine proved critical to the B-1B Lancer stand-down Air Force-wide, which protected 346 aircrew, 60 aircraft valued at $19.1 billion. Furthermore, she benchmarked a continuous process improvement, pairing the dental exam and preventative health assessment, increasing mobility readiness up to 85%, a Dyess first. Finally, her mentorship resulted in 5 below-the-zone promotions, 5 Community College of the Air Force graduates, 4 Wing, and 6 Air Force Medical Service winners. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Watkins Nance reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Watkins Nance.
This one mine? Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for attending. I thought long and hard about what are the most important things to say as I leave command, and I guess there would be just 2 simple words. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to lead as your squadron commander, first as the Aerospace Medicine Squadron, and then the Operational Medical Readiness Squadron after the redesignation. It is an honor that not everyone wearing the uniform gets to do, and for that I thank you. Starting with my family, I have to thank my parents. I'm an only kid. My mom, my little 80-year-old little Greek mama, who hopefully Lawrence helped getting streamlined live, is watching. Mom, you've been a constant in my life, a lifetime supporter. I would not be here without you. I love you, Mom. Same is true for my dad, a Korean War vet who entered the Army Air Corps in 1946 and was asked quickly if he wanted to join this new thing called the United States Air Force in 1947. I kid with him, Dad, that makes you old. If you were in the Air Force in its inception. We lost him in 2011, but I know he's watching. A Korean War vet, he told me he'd only been drunk twice in his life, and one was the night before he was told, the night he was told he was involuntarily being extended in his enlistment to go to Korea. I'm not sure what the other one was. My husband, who I hope also is watching online, of 30 years last month, a former Marine, if there is such a thing, we've come a long way, and I can't appreciate your support enough. My oldest son, sorry, Lawrence put some, a little nervous. My oldest son, who was actually born while Steve was deployed to Desert Storm. You don't know how much it means for you to be here, especially when your father can't. I love you, and I thank you. My son Gordon is also maybe watching live. He is down at the University of Texas School of Public Health, pursuing his master's degree in public health like his mother, so I'm very proud of him and could not be here today. Susanna and Jaime, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all you do for my family, especially when it comes to the most important person. I'm sorry, Lawrence. And Steve, my grandson, Steven. Thank you. I love the way you love him, and he is my, go ahead and stand up, okay. Then do the little wave. I taught him that. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Colonel Retired Benson for giving me this position, Colonel Sue McGill for serving with you and giving me the opportunity, Colonel Newell, Chief Duggar, always love your mentorship, appreciate you. All my superintendents, I've had 3, Master Sergeant Thompson, Master Sergeant Jenkins, who is here, and Chief Lake. All of you learned how to deal with me a different way. Master Sergeant Thompson would say, ma'am, you sure you want to do that? Master Sergeant Jenkins would just look at me after I finished and go. And Chief, as all chiefs, would say, no, ma'am, we're not doing that. Also want to thank the 2 execs that helped me, Master Sergeant Clay Thompson, Lieutenant Fugit, as we work through administrative issues. Captain Williams and Master Sergeant Seaton, thank you, everybody organizing, Hill Dalton, Miss Donna, really appreciate you guys. And our Shirt, you supported my squadron through some of the toughest problems we've had. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, Master Sergeant Hernandez. So wow, just like that, 3 years went by. While preparing, well, not always just like that, sometimes feel longer than others. But while preparing for this moment, I look back at the video of my first piece when I took command just over 3 years ago and thought, boy, that girl doesn't have a clue about what she got herself into. At that time, I did not know the tremendous pride I would feel when each and one of my airmen got promoted, got an award, or the graduation of one of our schools, or the overwhelming sense of purpose when we got 16 deployers every year out the door. Nor did I know I would be comforting airmen through loss of spouses, loss of loss of children, loss of grandparents, and finally, not that one of my airmen would attempt to take his own life. He almost succeeded, but he didn't, and he's doing well. Thank God. And I definitely did not know that I would be commanding a squadron through a deadly COVID-19 pandemic, nor facing the racial issues we face in the civilian sector following the murder of George Floyd, and those inside the military with the recent IG investigations on this topic. As we struggle to find answers to these age-old questions, it will be imperative for all of us to listen empathetically. If someone says something that was unexpected or unfamiliar, just listen, because all they want to do is be heard. These conversations will be difficult, but are necessary and will be the only way we get forward. And the only way we will fail is if we don't continue to keep coming to the table. We all know communication is key. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. I stand forever changed with all these events. I think we all are. Remember the old adage, whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. We will move forward stronger as a squadron, as an Air Force, as an American, as a world, as we go into our new normal. And we will only get there if we do it together. Lieutenant Colonel D, I want to welcome you and your family to Dyess Air Force Base. As I complete this tour and hand you the reins, I leave with a heavy heart. But you've lightened that load. As I am comforted, you will take good care of these airmen as we continue our charge. Finally, people told me that being a squadron commander was the hardest yet most rewarding job in the Air Force. They were 1,000% correct. It will be an experience I will never forget, and I will be forever grateful to the outstanding men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. It has been a great honor to serve as your commander in the world's greatest Air Force. Thank you.
Mr. Nance, the men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron greatly appreciate your sacrifice, commitment, and support to our squadron, our families, and the surrounding communities. Please accept the gift on behalf of the men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. Ma'am, it has been our great honor to serve under your command. The men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, thank you for your leadership, support, and dedication. We wish you and Mr. Nance good luck and Godspeed in the future. On behalf of the men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Master Sergeant Roberto Hernandez will now render Lieutenant Colonel Watkins Nance her final salute as their commander. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command. Attention to orders. By order of Colonel Jeffrey N. Cook, Special Order Number G2027, Lieutenant Colonel David A. D. assumes command of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Vice Lieutenant Colonel Stephanie M. Watkins Nance, effective 17 July 2020. Officer Center. Officers post. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Dr. D, will you please come forward? The Air Force has always recognized the importance of command and the significance of this unique position. In 2003, the Air Force created a special insignia in the form of a commander's badge to provide visible recognition of those who have undertaken such a distinct responsibility. Dr. D will now pin the commander's pin on Lieutenant Colonel D. Thank you, Dr. D. It is my pleasure to introduce the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron Commander, Lieutenant Colonel D.
All right, thank you, everyone. First, I'd like to thank everyone that helped put this together, especially Captain Williams and Master Sergeant Seaton. So, disclaimer, I was told I have 2 minutes and 59 seconds for this speech. So if I leave you out, remind me to give you protocol's number. First, I'd like to thank Colonel Sumangill, Colonel Newell, Colonel Cook, Chief Duggar. I'm beyond grateful to you all for giving me a chance to lead the 7th Operation Medicine Squadron. Though one can say it was destined for me to take command at a base whose tail code is my last name. Lieutenant Colonel Watkins Nance, I wish you the best on your next adventure. Thank you for guiding the 7th Op Med Squadron over the last 3 years. Next, I'd like to thank my amazing wife, Erin, and my 2 beautiful kids, Elena and Sebastian. Whether getting the look or having my patience tested, each of you makes me a better person every day. I love you all beyond measure. To my parents and siblings, Alex, Nora, Gary, Mary, Derek, Jake, and Roz, thank you all for your love and support on this journey. Lastly, to all my friends, family, mentors, and colleagues that are able to join us virtually, I appreciate each and every one of you for your continued support. Now, to my team, the women and men of the 7th Op Med Squadron. I'm looking forward to getting to listen to each of you and reaching new heights during our time together. In the meantime, I ask you to consider the following. President Theodore Roosevelt, in his Citizenship and Republic speech, said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." Another author, Brene Brown, defines the term rebelling as discussion, conversation, or meeting defined by commitment to lean into vulnerability and to stay curious and generous, to stick with the messy middle of a problem identification and solving, and to take a break and circle back when necessary, to be fearless in owning our parts and listen with the same passion with which we want to be heard. Now to you, my squadron, the 7th Op Med Squadron, I ask you to join me in the arena and let's get ready to rumble. I'll close with a quote from Texas high school football coaching legend Eric Taylor of Friday Night Lights, if any of you are into public knowledge of TV shows. "Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Let's get it." Thank you.
We extend a warm West Texas welcome to the D family. Dr. D, please accept the flowers on behalf of the men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron. On behalf of the men and women of the 7th Operational Medical Readiness Squadron, Master Sergeant Hernandez will now welcome Lieutenant Colonel D with his first salute as their commander. This concludes today's ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party. We would like to thank everyone for their attendance. Please remember to don your masks prior to leaving and adhere to social distancing policies. Please enjoy your day and be safe.